take a look around your space and you'll be reminded that crafting is expensive and it's not getting cheaper. Yes, some supplies are cheaper than others, and sometimes you can substitute a more expensive one for a more affordable option. However, there are times when these alternatives just aren't worth it. The big problem is, how do you know which is which? You might think you're saving money in the short term, but if a tool breaks after only 3 uses, how much money have you actually saved? When you look around your space, I hope you see quality supplies that you love, but perhaps like me, you regret trying to save money and wish you'd bought the better quality options to begin with. In today's video, let's chat about the 20 things that are worth spending money on, tools, materials, and supplies that are worth every penny, even if they are a more expensive option. These are all things I've bought in the past, and at the time they felt expensive, but now that I have them, I would definitely buy them again. As I list them out, I'd love to know, do you have these supplies and do you agree that they are worth it? And if you've found an affordable version that's equally as good, I want to know about that too. So which craft supplies are worth spending your money on? Here's my top 20. Item number 1 is double-sided tape. I have made the mistake of trying to buy cheap adhesive and I 200% regret it. I've been left with a mini album that's falling apart and some of the tape has actually stained my papers. Not good. I now only ever use this tape. It is acid-free and solvent-free, and I'll be sure to link it below along with all the other supplies that I'm showing you today. While we're talking adhesive, item number 2 is liquid glue. Don't skimp on this either. My favourite is Nouveau Deluxe. I love the consistency of this glue. It's not too thin and not too thick, and it comes in the perfectly sized bottle with an applicator tip that you can see there. It doesn't dry too quickly either, so you can adjust things where you need to. I've been using this one for years now with no problems at all. Item number 3 is scissors, and I recommend you have a couple of pair. Having good quality scissors can make a huge difference to your completed projects. I recommend having a general all-purpose pair as well as a specific pair that's made for fussy cutting. These fussy cutting scissors are my favourites because that fine tip there, that allows me to get into all kinds of small details and prints on pattern paper. Being able to fussy cut out elements from any pattern paper is such an economical way to create, so I think it's really worth investing in a quality pair like these. It's also a great idea to get an adhesive eraser. This can help prevent glue from building up over time and causing damage to the paper as you cut. You'll also need a paper trimmer, and that's item number 4. If you want to cut a straight line every time, you need a quality paper trimmer. There are loads of paper trimmers on the market, but consider those that come from well-established brands like Fiskars, American Crafts, or Cricut. A paper trimmer can be a very personal choice, but I would always recommend going for a much better quality trimmer over a cheaper one. This is a tool you'll use all the time, over and over again, so it's really worth getting a good one. My current trimmers are from We Are Memory Keepers and Cricut. Item number 5 is stamps. Now don't be tempted to buy the dupes that you see on Temu and Shein because the quality just isn't there. They are often made from silicone instead of polymer, and they're cheap copies of the original design, so the prints aren't very crisp. Generally, they're also smaller than the original. I've personally been sent many of these kinds of stamps to test and review for the channel, and they are not good. It is not worth trying to go cheap on these. Item number 6 is dies, and unfortunately the same rules applies for dies as they did for stamps. I've heard so many stories of creatives receiving dies that do not cut or do not align well with their matching stamped images. You know what though? There aren't just practical reasons not to buy these, there are moral reasons too. Purchasing stolen designs does so much damage to our fragile craft community, so I personally have a blanket rule never to buy dupes. I'm more than happy to pay extra, knowing it's going to the original creators of the product. Next up is paper. It is item number 7 and something I'll never skimp on. I'm going to talk about this as a general supply because it applies to any kind of paper you're creating with. Whether it's watercolor paper, printer paper, or scrapbook paper, the better quality paper, the better result you'll achieve. As a paper crafter, this especially applies for the paper and cardstock I use for scrapbooking and card making. Not all brands are created equally, so when you find one that uses quality card and paper, stick to them. As with everything on this list, I'll be sure to link my favourites below. Item number 8 are die cuts and embellishments, and the reason I've added these to my list is because they are the key components that make up your projects. Be sure to choose quality designs that are classic in style so that they stand the test of time. Especially for stickers and embellishments. I've purchased supplies in the past where the glitter has come off, stickers have lost their stick, and even enamel on an embellishment has yellowed over time. Investing in supplies that are made from quality materials will make all the difference in the future. It's not now that you'll notice the difference, but in 5 years' time when you're flipping through those albums. Item number 9 are paper punches, and these are some of my most favourite supplies. These are really worth investing in because you can use them over and over again. A quality punch will last you years and they really are so versatile. If you're just starting out, invest in simple shapes and designs. Then, over time, grow your collection to include edge punches and the more intricate shapes. Item number 10 is a crocodile and is 2 items in one actually. American Crafts crocodiles come as an eyelet setter and hole punch, or as a corner chomper. They're 2 separate items. I think every crafter needs at least one of these. I have the hole punch and the eyelet setting tool, and I use it all the time for mini albums. The corner chomper is great for rounding corners for thick cardstock and chipboard. Both of these tools are super heavy duty and can do many pages at once and easily work with chipboard sheets. They are such good quality tools, they will last a lifetime. On to item number 11, and it is a die cutting machine. This is my Sizzix Fold Away. I'm not sure if they make this exact model anymore, but Sizzix machines have been around a very long time. Having a die cutting machine like this one allows you to create all your own embellishments, which can save you a lot of money, so it's well worth investing in. You may also want an electronic die cutting machine. This is item number 12. I've always been on Team Silhouette, but you should consider a Cricut as well. I've created a video comparing the 2 brands and share tips on how you should decide which one is best for you. I'll link them below. The beauty of this kind of machine is that you can adjust and resize the images as you like to suit your personal needs. And if you are looking for SVG cut file designs, I'll be sure to leave a link to my shop in the description box below. Item number 13 is an at-home printer, and my go-to is my Canon Selphy. I use this to print my photos at home, and I've had it for years and years. The quality of the print is amazing, and it's so convenient to be able to print anytime, day or night. Yes, the prints are more expensive than getting bulk photos printed, but it's worth it for me for the convenience. Item number 14 is a quality stamping platform, and you need one of these even if you don't do a lot of stamping. I would argue that you need one especially if you don't do a lot of stamping. Here's a look at my stamping platforms. This first one here is from Misty, and then the second one there, that is a Tonic Studios. I tend to mix and match using these depending on my mood, but I do find that the Misty does a better job of clear stamps, and then the Tonic one does a better job with rubber stamps. Either of these platforms are a great option, especially if you're someone who doesn't do a lot of stamping, because they really do make it foolproof. Item number 15, D-ring albums. I store all of my favorite layouts in this style of album because they hold quite a lot. They're really easy to add pages to, and they're really nice to flip through. I plan to have these for many years to come, which is why I don't mind spending a little bit more money on them. I also think quality page protectors are worth it. You don't want the sides coming apart or pages falling out. I recommend We Are Memory Keepers D-ring albums, but if you're an Aussie, you can get these ones. These are Universal Craft branded, very, very similar in quality, and the ones that I use. This is not the only way that I store layouts, but I do save these beautiful albums for my most treasured pages. We have talked a lot about supplies that are worth the splurge, but there are also some storage items that I'm really glad I spent the money on. A good storage system will help you use the supplies you have more efficiently. Item number 16 are these 12 by 12 plastic pockets. Yes, there are cheaper versions of these. You can find them on Amazon, but I really like this brand because of the color and the quality. The plastic on these is super thick, and I know that zipper's going to last. They are a really great size, and I can fit an entire collection in one of these, so it's super easy to grab a pouch and get creative. Item number 17 is my washi tape holder. I put off buying this for so long and used to have my washi just shoved in a drawer. It's amazing to me just how much more I use it now that it's on display. It's pretty and practical, which I love. On to item number 18, which is my custom storage solution. I've had this storage piece custom made and designed around 13-inch square storage boxes. I purchased the boxes first and then took them to a local cabinet maker who designed the unit to store them. I love how easily you can slide each box in and out, and I group my supplies by manufacturer. This storage unit has been an absolute game changer for me, well worth the investment because I can see everything that I have and I can get to it so easily. Item number 19 is lighting, and it's super important if you create a lot at night, or if you're creating videos like I do here that share your creative process. Lighting makes such a difference. Fussy cutting in the dark? Not fun. I probably have more lighting than most because yes, this is my job, but I would recommend in the very least that you have a nice desktop light. I also have portable lights that I take with me on retreat to make scrapbooking in large halls with no light a lot more comfortable. I've saved the best idea for last because this one is for everyone. No matter what kind of crafting you do, the best investment for your craft dollar is in you. Yes, item number 20 is you. In particular, investing in your technical skills and knowledge about your favorite craft. This could be an online class, a course, a workbook, or even a retreat. I've personally never regretted investing in growing my skills in my craft or allowing myself time to spend with my creative friends. Investing in yourself to learn something new will always be money well spent. Not sure where to start? Perhaps with this class where I teach you how to use your paper scraps to create the cutest mini album ever. I'll be sure to link it below. So now that you know the craft purchases that are worth spending money on, it's time to learn where to save. Frugal crafters know how to make the very most out of their craft budget, and there are mistakes that they would never make. If you need ways to stretch your supplies and craft budget, you need to watch this video next. Learn the 16 ways frugal crafters save money so you can too. I'll see you all again very soon. Until then, bye!